we found ourselves doing a lot of work, and we felt like if we were stepping ourselves a little bit out of the business to just take a break, take a breathe, and get some more energy, the business would collapse. And we kept working and working and working and working. But the bottom line was what it says on the screen. You know, the business was dependent, in our case, on Masha and Miguel. Was Masha and Miguel dependent? And that is one of the things that we had to change. We just didn't know how.
And this was a day that our future changed forever. We literally were in Asia. We rented our house in Australia, and we're traveling between different cities in Asia to build our business. But at this point, we felt like we were traveling in a boat that was filling up with water because there were so many holes in it. How many ever feel like you're throwing out water out of a sinking boat because you're literally trying to put out so many fires? Yeah, Fiona's raising her hand, because you're literally having to deal with so many things, getting people started, you know, making sure that you're having the customers, all of these things. And there's so many repetitive things that you're burning out. And in Thailand, we finally realized that we needed a duplication system.
How many of you have always dreamt of having an international business and have business in so many countries? Yeah? We were like that too. We wanted to have a super international business, travel around the world, you get paid, and all these things that you hear about, right? The thing that we didn't really know was the following, and that's the reason we have this picture from that room in Thailand, because you know, we started our business here in Australia, and as you know, there's a lot of immigration, Asian immigration. So our business started to take off, and it took us to many countries around the world, and we picked Thailand, Bangkok, because of the lifestyle that we could have, because it's close to many places around Southeast Asia. The challenge was that while we were having the base, the hub in Bangkok, we rented our house here, by the way, we put everything in storage. And anyway, so what happened was that we would travel from Bangkok, right, where we had our team, to Malaysia to build a team in Malaysia. Then we would build a team in Malaysia and then come back to Bangkok, and we would feel that the team had no progress, had done absolutely nothing. Because again, they were Masha and Miguel dependent. In the meantime, we would come back to Bangkok, obviously, and the Malaysian team would stall, would do absolutely nothing, would always be dependent on Masha and Miguel. So eventually, you run out of time. You don't have that much time to grow your team, to prospect, to teach, to do follow-ups, and everybody depends on you. So what happened was, at the end of the day, was that we fell sick. Literally, we ended up in hospital. We basically burnt completely, physically, mentally, and we had to rethink how we did the business. And that day was the day that everything changed for us. That was the day that we started thinking what I was saying to you, not about working harder, but about working smarter. And we started implementing very simple tools, very minimal things, but those things were the ones that made the huge difference for us.
That's right. And so that was the start of what we now teach. And you guys are going to have access to exactly the way that we were able to do it. The bulletproof recruiting method that will get your team duplicating in less than 24 hours. And it all starts with this concept that we've mentioned a couple of times that we call Inception. How many of you have seen this movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? You guys seen that movie? He's a corporate espionage agent, and he literally implants ideas into people's minds without them realizing it, right? That's kind of what really we are meant to do as leaders for prospects and for our team members. Obviously, use this power for good. And so our question to ourselves was, what is it, the idea that we're meant to implant into people's minds so that they can duplicate in 24 hours? And really, the idea is that I can do this today. The belief that this is something they can do immediately upon signing up. If this is your team who's already there, that they can progress to the next level. This is your prospect, that as they sign up, they can do exactly what you've just done. And it's all based on these 5 core steps of the bulletproof method. The first step, and we always start with this, is actually a very simple, duplicatable getting started training. And inside your system that we're about to reveal today, Matt and Karina have created an amazing getting started training that you'll now all have access to. And like I said, often Miguel and I would overwhelm people and tell them too much. And, there's so much information from our company people could use. And so guess what? Nobody did anything. But if you deliver the right training at the right time, the person's able to get it, take action, and get results. So that's often a video training with a simple checklist, and that's going to be available inside the system for you. The next step is, of course, now that they got some getting started training, they need to take action and invite their first people. And, imagine if you were able to give them this very simple script that literally within a couple of minutes, they have absorbed it, they've learned it, and now they can literally invite a person with a phone call, point it to a tool, a website that they have available for themselves, and then later they can follow up with a phone call and guess what? Get a new member started. The purpose of all this is, of course, that even if I sign up Miguel right now today, all I have to teach him is this 2-minute instant script. There's really not a huge learning curve for him. All he needs to learn is how to say, Masha, if I can show you a way, would you watch this video? That's really all a brand new person needs to learn. And so can you imagine if that's all they need to learn, how fast they're going to start sharing their business, sharing their products, sharing their opportunity, right? And so it's all about creating a way how they have the tools available to those so that you shorten their learning curve. Does that make sense, guys?
Have you ever had somebody saying to you, that's okay for you, Masha, or that's okay for you because you are so, like, I don't know, you're so well presented and all that. It's okay for you to do presentations. It's okay for you to do this business because you are so good, right? When you get somebody saying that, it might look like a compliment, but it's really not. What it's really saying to you is like, I don't see myself doing what you're doing because it looks quite hard, right? So what you really want, and it's counterintuitive, I think, because what you really want people to say is like, man, if Masha can do this thing, she didn't, but I mean, she talked to me for 2 minutes. She said, if I had the time to watch this video, would you, or if I could show you a way to, I don't know, have more time or travel to, I don't know, to US to take your kids on holidays to Disneyland, would you watch a video or 15-minute video, 20-minute video? They can help you in the next 6 to 12 months to do that. And that's it, right? So simple. So that's what you want your prospect to think. You want them to think like, if Miguel can do that, he doesn't even speak English, I can do that too, right? I speak the language, right? That's what you want them to think. Instead of, wow, they know so much, they know everything about the product, they know everything about the comp plan. Wow, they're like, I need a PhD too, right? So if you want your prospect to think, I need a PhD before they do anything, guess what? How much time they're gonna take before they actually take action, right?
And I love Josh, Kiss, that's right, keep it simple. So, it's really important now that, you know that they only need to have a simple script, that you give them this automated presenting tool. And Miguel and I started with just a YouTube video for our team, and over time we have evolved this into quite a sophisticated yet very simple to use online marketing funnel. And here we have it. Actually, there's some preview here of what we're going to show you later. But there's a capture page that leads into a presentation page and finishes off with a product page, so that there's all the information, and all these pages are feeding the information of the prospect, moving from one page to the other, and they're feeding it into the contacts management system. So imagine all of your team members knowing exactly what their prospect saw, what their prospect did, and knowing when and how to follow up. And that's what it's all about. It's about having that automated presenting and contacts management
That's right.
system.
And at the same time, we've used contact management systems for quite a while. And one thing that I failed, at least myself, for a while, is they were so complicated. I actually needed to study how to use it and how to understand the information that was displayed on that contact management system. So then I could know, what to do with all that information, right? So what you will see in the system today is like, the idea behind it is, can a 2-year-old use this system? And the answer is yes. Now, nowadays, being a 2-year-old, I don't think is really the thing, because they are born already with a phone in their hand. So it's not really technology a challenge for them, right? So then we go to the other extreme. Can an 80-year-old that has never opened a computer, right, use this system? And the answer is yes. It doesn't need anybody to learn anything. It's kind of intuitively, they can go through all this and they know exactly where the prospects are and what they need to do. That's the whole point.
That's right. And as you guys know, the third step is then following up. And you guys are so experienced, you will probably follow up someone until they decide and give you the decision, right? But a brand new member doesn't know that. And so what we feel is really important when you're going into depth, 5, 10, 20 generations deep, and you literally can't keep track of who the people are that are joining your team, you need more layers of follow-up. One is, of course, the member calling the person and saying, so what did you think? And all those questions that we ask. But then, of course, imagine you as an upline support leader having that information that your member had a prospect go through their, marketing funnel, knowing that they went through it, and being able to either prompt the member or you being able to follow up yourself.
Do you have people in your team that are very extrovert and they go and talk to like one person,
people,
then the other person, then the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and next thing you know, you ask them and they say, yeah, I'm talking to a lot of people. And have you follow up with anyone? Oh, no, right? So you need to have some kind of backup to people like that because, there's people falling through the cracks, right? So having a system like this, it does help the person actually that is very extrovert to actually, go back and check, oh, I did talk to that person and they watched the video and I haven't followed up. And it helps you as an upline, as a mentor also to make sure that Masha, in this case, follows up.
That's right. And even through the system, you will have a follow-up email support system that will follow up your prospects so that, you make sure that they are reminded and kept warm until somebody eventually follows up. Now, the fifth step in this bulletproof method is what we feel often the leaders miss. Now, quite a few people in network marketing can very quickly, set up a way of prospecting and recruiting that's duplicatable with tools and so on and so on. But then a lot of them really miss what we call leadership development. And the key concept here really is that you need to give the right training at the right time. So I'm going to say it again. You need to give the right training at the right time. Often we are teaching too much too early or not enough too late. And so we understand duplication as in 6 different timelines in your business. And they're very simple. 1 hour, 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, 90 days, and first year in the business. And those are the crucial timelines that your brand new member that joins your business today will walk through. And you need to have a path, a blueprint, a step-by-step way that you're going to teach them all the core concept. Like often for us, the prospect had to wait 3 or 4 weeks before they came to a training event so that they would go through the basic training and then they would get excited, or, they missed the training and it would take 2 months for them to get excited.
That's right. The question is always, okay, well, when are you the most excited? And the answer most of the time is when somebody opens your mind, right? They show you a way to get out of, the day-to-day routine that you have, the job that you don't really love so much and you wish you had an alternative in life. And somebody took the time, right, to show you what that is. At the same time, what do you want that person to do with that energy, right? Is the moment that you have, it's golden, right? Because that time is never coming back. But that energy, that excitement, you can use it for good. And instead of using it to overwhelming with, this is the comp plan, these are the products, and this is all these things, and then they think they need to study all this before they do anything. What if you give them just enough so they understand that the goal of that first hour is to take action, to actually get in touch with people, to invite them. And the next thing is like, yes, but I'm too scared, I don't know enough. And then you show them that it's super simple, that they can do that right now, right? And at the same time, what if you had the way to actually vaccinate them against all the things that are going to happen when people say no to them, when the family think they're crazy, when the neighbor says, I'm going to report you to the police because you're doing this thing, right? Anything that can happen. You need to make sure that they don't quit, right? So the first thing, obviously, in the first hour is get into action and make sure that they don't quit. So they stay 1 day more, right?
That's right. And then as we spoke about, it's all about the 24-hour duplication. So how do they sponsor that first person? How do they do that first 3-way call maybe with you or an upline support leader? And so there's a series of specific skills that they need to learn in specific time, right? We need to give them at the right time. And then Miguel and I used to keep asking ourselves, well, we now understand the skills, but how can we automate it? Because we no longer want to just go and travel to events all around the world into those 15, 20 markers that we're currently building, getting on a flight literally every weekend, right?
That's right. So here's the kind of the rule of thumb that we always follow, right? And since we have all of you on the call today, you're all leaders, you will understand this very well. When you find yourself, repeating the same thing, whether it's a training or it's a how-to or anything, you find yourself doing that same thing 5 times or over, it's time to record it. It's time to use a tool. You can, most of the people now have like mobile phones, right? They have a smartphone with a camera and with a recorder. It's just a matter of sitting down for like 5-10 minutes, record the video, and then now that you have a system, you can actually put it somewhere where people can have access to. And the only thing you need to do next time, when Masha comes to me and says, "Oh, Miguel, how can I set up my auto ship like this? Or how can I order this product? Or how can I," instead of me answering, the only thing I need to say to Masha is like, "That's a great question. Go here and have a look." I'm only pointing to the tool instead of me spending time and energy doing that. Because when you do that 5 times every day, let's say it's not the most productive thing to do. Would you agree with that?
And obviously this is an online automated leadership development platform that you will all have access to. That doesn't mean that you should never do an event again. In fact, we insisted that for this launch, you guys gather together in live events because we so much believe how important they are. But this is another layer of your business so that, guess what, 20 generations from you, the person who does have a business mind and does not have an upline support leader will still have a chance of really getting the right information. Does that make sense, guys? Can you now see how this 5 steps is really going to help you to not only grow the business, but eventually have more time so you can step away or have more time so you can invest it back into recruiting and sponsoring and grow your business exponentially? And so hopefully you guys can see now that the biggest leverage that we all have as leaders in network marketing is a team duplication system, right?
That's right.
And so how many of you now would like to have, a quick look into the best duplication system that there is? I actually want to call Matt and Karina maybe just to speak up and just introduce it properly. We don't want to steal your thunder in introducing the name of this wonderful system that you guys have built in the last few weeks. So Matt and Karina, would you guys like to unveil the name and just say a quick word? I think I muted you as well.
Okay. So just handing around some Ice Delight chocolates.
In your room.
That's right. Yeah, so obviously the lifestyle transformation is the name of it, and we think it's got step-by-step instructions for everyone, and it just makes it so much simpler and so much easier. And we've got all the necessary PDFs and documents and scripts and training and everything that anyone needs. So we're super pumped for it. Karina's come over to
show my face. I'll stop eating chocolate. Look, at the end of the day, we were looking for a system that would not only benefit our business, but our business is our team's business as well. So, when we sat down and we thought about it and we looked at this system and we thought, it's just one place where everything we've ever needed is available to us. And, Isagenix provide us with so many incredible tools, but they're all over the place. And, sometimes when we enroll a new person and we actually have to ask each other, and we have each other, so we're fortunate there, but we have to ask each other, what do you think I should do here? And we still feel that way after 3.5 years. And we think that if we feel that way, what's it like for a brand new person when they've got so many tools? How do they know which one to do or what's the best one to do in that scenario? So we feel that this system combats that, but so many other things as well. And our belief in it is sky high. And, obviously it's not mandatory. Everyone can do whatever they want to do because it's your business. But yeah, we have full belief in this and we're really excited for it.
That's awesome. Well, thank you for that. That's quite an introduction. So we will definitely now share the screen and do a little bit of a training of what actually the system is all about and how you guys can use it. but it was great
Yeah.
just to have.
And before you do that, we're gonna do that. I promise you, we're gonna go straight away into that. But I wanted to kind of just make a small. It's not a small comment, I think. You know, Matt and Karina, as you guys know, they're millionaires in Isagenix. So they could sit in their laurels, right, and earn their money and have their life and take care of Aria and who knows, you know. Instead of that, they went out of their way thinking of every single one of you. And again, it's not compulsory, definitely not. We all have free will to do whatever it is that we want to do. But in their mind, when they came to talk to us, the first thing they said is this going to take care of our team? Are they going to be able to replicate what we've done and beyond? You know, and the answer obviously will be that it's in your hands, right? We cannot just do the things for you the same way that they can do the things for you. But what I wanted to make sure that you guys understand, and I think you do, is that they went out of their way to actually find something that they felt and they feel is the right thing, not just for them, but for you, so you can actually replicate their success, right? So, and we're gonna show you right now.
Absolutely. I think it's quite amazing what they've done in a really quick short of time. So, you know, this is what your system will look like when you actually log in. In fact, in this video, Matt and Karina welcome everyone, and then there's a short training video on how you can use the system. The most important thing on this whole dashboard, apart from the beautiful logo and all the great branding that you guys have chosen, is really your share link. And this is a test account for Miguel. And Miguel's test link is miguel.thelifestyletransformation.com. And each and every single one of you will have your own link. And this is the link to the marketing funnel that you will share with your prospect. And of course, it goes without saying, this is not a link that we're going to be copying and pasting on people's Facebook walls, or, you know, mass emailing to 1,000 contacts or more, or perhaps even, you know, doing things like SMSing to people that we hardly know. It's obviously about creating relationships first. And when you ask people, you know, if I could show you a way, would you watch this video? This is when you actually give the link. And Miguel and I, quite often when we train how to use the system properly, we always say it's about giving the link, not sending it, right? So I think it's quite important. That is a really, really important thing. So let's have a look at what your marketing funnel actually looks like. On the very first page here, you know, this is what we call a opt-in page or a landing page. So that is the link that you'll be giving people. In fact, on this link, you know, let's say that I am Miguel's prospect. I'm going to put my name and my email right here. And what will happen to Miguel will immediately receive an email that he has a brand new prospect that has gone to the next page, which is the presentation page right here. So I don't know if you guys still see us on the screen,
Probably not,
but here is Miguel's email just coming in. And so I'm going to then land on a presentation page, which is a wonderful video, of course, by Isagenix, an introduction, an overview about your company, products, opportunity. And at the same time, if Miguel goes to his dashboard, into his back office where he has logged in, he's going to get this notification here right on top left-hand side corner, and it says Masha was added to your contact list. And so, you know, that means if you click on it and go into what we call the contacts management system, Masha's a new contact. You know, you can see the date and time that she came in as a prospect, right, that I went to see the video. And here on the right-hand side, you have almost like a, you know, step-by-step following of what your prospect is doing. In this case, I've just opted in and I'm watching the video. Now, if I go back to this marketing funnel, and once I'm done watching the video, and we will obviously inside the system, there's plenty of training on how to do this, but we will do a training for everyone in the next week or so, again, on exactly what to say and how to use this. You know, it's really good to say to the person, once you've watched the video, would you mind just clicking onto one of the 3 buttons? And no matter what button I click on, you know, whether that's, I want to know more about products right here, and I go actually onto this wonderful page where I have more information about product, right? I could also have clicked on any of the other videos, which are, I have buttons which are, I have more questions, or I want to get started now. And when I click on that, it's going to prompt me to answer my phone number. But really it is so that, guess what? I actually get the member that's sharing the business with me notified again. And guess what happens in Miguel's back office? he can now see that I've gone on to the next step, which means I've watched the video and clicked onto the next step. So how many of you are excited to be able to follow what every one of your prospects are doing, literally without stalking? It's almost like being, you know, psychic of knowing exactly what's going on. So I feel this is so important. Everyone's excited here. Awesome, awesome. Just reading some of the comments. Lisa saying, awesome, that's great. This looks so, so incredible. You guys are amazing. So, you know, and then of course, guess what? I know that you know you need to follow up, but your brand new person may not. And so guess what? This is a reminder that the next step after that is they need to pick up the phone and follow up. And this is why this is a manual step. When they've actually followed up, they need to actually tick that box, you know, follow up. You can also take notes like, you know, I met Masha on a plane, which is true story, by the way, for another day, right? And she was looking for another stream of income eventually, you know? So you can update notes, and as you're following up on the phone, as you're having contact with this person, right? So each of your contacts has their own page, and you're following through. And if you look at all of your contacts page, you will see that exactly where each of your contacts are at, right? In what stage of the process of becoming a customer, a member, you know, and what you need to do next with them.
And remember what I was saying before, you know, we all have in our teams, you know, these people that are very extrovert and are very kind of bluish in terms of, I don't know, you guys know about the colors and everything, but they're very extrovert and they don't follow up. They just talk to people and talk to people and talk to people because they are super excited, right? And when you tell them and say, hey, how many people did you sign up, or where are you in your business? They're like, oh, I don't know. I know that I'm talking to a lot of people. Again, for you, it's a very good way to actually regroup that person and say, can you share the screen with me? Can you show me your contacts back office? When you come here, you as a coach, as a mentor for your new team member, you can have a look and say, okay, well, Masha or Miguel in this case, okay, has a few people that need to watch the videos and a few people that he needs to follow up. Or let me help you to do that, right? Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you a little bit of a structure on how you can actually maximize all these people that you already talked to, but you just need to collect decisions on. Is that making sense, guys? Do you think that is a simple system? Is that confusing? No, I think so, right? It's super simple. A 2-year-old definitely can use it. 80-year-old, you know, as long as you show them how to open the computer, I think it should be pretty good too, right?
Everyone's raising their hand. It's so cool. You can create new contacts. You can export contacts. So it's a contacts management system together with a real custom-built sales or marketing funnel, if you want to call it. And the great thing is, here's the key thing for duplication. We mentioned this a couple of times. As much as, you know, all of our network marketing companies are great at tools, giving us great tools, you need one platform or one channel, one kind of portal that every one of your prospects walk through. And here's the reason. You obviously are very business minded because you're listening to this today, but 3, 4, 5 generations from you, you have a customer. And this customer, or maybe this customer is starting to make a little bit of business, but they're not really experienced and they're not comfortable about talking about the business. But if they have this tool, and if they just committed to sharing this tool, they may attract a business builder because of the message being for everyone. So obviously the video presentation lets them choose for whatever it is, and with the proper follow-up, then the person can decide either business, product, or whichever one it is. But this is the way that a lot of us deep in our teams are actually missing out on identifying new leaders. And having one portal, one door that everyone is walking through is going to help you to duplicate who you are as a leader and giving them the right message before they even join. Does that make sense, guys?
The other thing is, as you guys know already, when you have an automated presentation, it doesn't matter if it's the first hour of the day or the 11th hour of the day. It doesn't matter if you're in Australia and the other person is in New Zealand or is in UK or in US, anywhere else in the world. The tool is doing the work for you. That is your leverage. You know, the only thing you need to focus on is in collecting decisions and inviting people. That's just to start. And we're just talking right now about the marketing side of it. As you remember, we were talking about at the beginning, right? It's not only the prospecting, you know, there's also the duplication side of it, which is the endless funnel, right? You need to get all these people that are curious, right? For the ones that are serious, and from the ones that are serious, then you're taking the ones that they have the leadership potential and you develop them as much as possible. But for that, obviously, what happens? They need to acquire some knowledge, correct?
That's right. So we have a duplicatable method where people don't need the learning curve. Would you agree? To be able to share your business now, we have a really simple way to share it. But then you go into what we call get results. And get results, you know, there's two big sections here. One is a getting started section that Karina and Matt, together with the leadership, have put together. And this is a great starting video. Again, one message, one portal, one door that a brand new member walks through, right?
By the way, I just remember one thing. You know how I was talking about the presentation and duplication and how amazing it is when you actually see it in your team? Well, 5 years into our business, we were showing, you know, we were getting our team obviously to follow the system and show the presentation, then collect the decision, and then if that wasn't enough, then to invite them to an actual meeting, right? So anyway, so long story short, we opened a new country, and around 4 years, almost 5 years after we opened that country, Masha and I traveled like we usually do, you know, every quarter or once a year, depending on the country. And we had this big meeting on a Sunday, right, with opportunity meeting. Now, there was this guy, he wasn't even like the top leader. It was just somebody, you know, I don't know, like 5, 10, 20 levels down. We didn't even know that person. And when we got into the room, that guy was doing the presentation, right? Live presentation with the PowerPoint and the whole thing. What surprised Masha and I was that that person doing that presentation, you know, 4 years after we have recorded our first presentation online, that person was making the same jokes, was making the same comments, and was doing exactly what that presentation was. 5 years, almost 5 years after we had done the presentation, and that guy had never, ever, ever talked to us.
That's right.
That's when you realize that what you're doing is duplicated. And that's what probably you want in your team, right?
That's the uniting message, the one message that everyone is going across, right? And the same goes when people get started. So Matt and Karina created this wonderful getting started video, which is very simple to understand and goes step by steps of exactly what you need to do when you get your business off the ground. And then that's really for the first hour in the business. In addition to that, we have what we call the 7-figure duplication secrets training. And that training is very extensive. I mean, it's about 45 videos. It takes over 10 hours if you were just to sit down and watch it, but it's broken down into really small bite-sized pieces so you can listen to it on the go. And it goes anywhere from, you know, really going into the details of how to really work through that, sharing that page and how to follow up and how to use this 3-step rapid mobilization method together with home meetings, together with live events and so on, all the way up to the, you know, in level 6 where we go into social media recruiting. And this lesson 3 is going to be so important for a lot of you, is how to take, you know, people that we meet online, take them offline and actually start talking to them and transition into a phone call. So it's going to cover all the basic skills, you know, how to build international businesses, how to actually build momentum through different events, a lot of different simple, you know, basic skills, but also kind of leadership and $1 million leader skills, you know, many things you will encounter. So that is your automated leadership development platform. And it's really going to be so exciting when, you know, this is kind of going to be your blueprint. I mean, this is how we do things in a business. So when you see a member coming to you and asking them, what do? You can simply say, remember, you know, how we do things in our system, in the lifestyle transformation system? Well, this is actually not a part of this system. So why don't you just simplify it and do exactly what the system says so that we know you're going to get results? And so pointing them back to this, having a set of kind of small rules, you know, what is the right thing and what is not, so that you can be more efficient in helping people get results, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
The other thing that you guys have here is my team area. In this area, you know, there's some wonderful profile pictures of some wonderful leaders. Look at that. This is so awesome. Wow. This is the first time I'm actually looking at them. And not only pictures, but small stories, of course. These are used for both when you guys edify people on calls and in events, so you don't have to call them up if you don't know them, but also for, you know, recognition purposes. I'm sure that Matt and Karina and the rest of the leaders will be welcoming more leaders who are going to be joining them in these profiles as they achieve higher ranks. The next thing is also, of course, the calendar of events. And look at that, May 26th, UIA in Sydney. This is something that's going on in Sydney for you guys. Beautiful. You actually have the Google map here where it's happening. Probably the details. Master trainer David Wood is joining you. That's fantastic, right? So all of your team doesn't need to wonder what to do. It is all inside the system.
And again, you don't need to explain, or you don't need to go through everything. You don't need to do much. The only thing you need to do is to point the person to the tool. And, you know, whether you like it or not, you're kind of like a traffic policeman, right? What they do is they just direct traffic. If they come one way, they direct it a different way. So that's what you're doing, really. You're simplifying your life. Instead of you doing the talking, you use the tools to do the talking for you. Instead of you explaining where, you know, how things work or where the events are or anything like that, the only thing you're doing is, Masha, that's a great question. Go to your back office, go to the calendar, and click on that button, and it will tell you exactly where it is, the time, when it starts, when it finishes, and there's actually a link for you to go and register, you know, and that simplifies your life so much. And what happens when you get a more simplified life, you know, simple life? I can't even speak tonight.
You can be more effective.
That's right.
And prospect and recruit more people so that you can grow your business exponentially and invest time into activities that are not automatable. And that's one part here in the library that you're going to see. Look at all this. Karina and Matt have already done simple videos covering all the basic skills. How to do a 3-way call, how to overcome objections, how to run an in-home presentation. Wow, that's a great one. So, you know, and I know you guys as a leadership team will be working together. Like here, for example, you can be sending, you know, the support team that we have. By the way, the support team, you know, is really available 24/7. The email is support@thelifestyletransformation.com, and you can write to them anytime. You can also write to them from right on the top right-hand side. There's a question mark. And so, for example, if you have it approved by Matt and Karina that you want to upload a recorded Zoom training you just did, guess what? You will just send it to support, right? Make sure you approve it with your leaders first, of course. But everything is going to be here, a depository of data, PDF audios. I mean, look at all the price lists, brochures, and everything else you guys need.
That's right. And if that wasn't enough, here's the thing that we found most of the time. It's like, when you get the new person, the first thing that you do, obviously, you get them into action, you get them to call people, to invite, do everything. But the main thing is, okay, so how can I make $1,000? You know, what do I need to do to make $1,000? Somebody came today, right now, they came to you and said, Masha, what do I need to do to make $1,000? And you will be like, well, yes, you need to talk to people, you need to invite them, you need to follow up, but how many? And how do I do it, right? So what if you had a tool, right, that does all that for you? And the only thing you need to do when Masha comes and says, what do I need to do to make $1,000 a month? You just say, very simple, Masha, go to your planning and take the quiz.
That's right. And so your team member will take a quiz of how much money they want to make in the next month, and then answer the questions of how much activity they did in the month before. And if they're brand new, they just say 0, right? And they submit the quiz, and what they will get given is a specific plan of action, right? In terms of the day-to-day activity they need to do to create a certain income. And that is massive, because they will see what their monthly goal of activity is and how much they did in the last 30 days. And that's going to show them where they're really good and where they haven't done enough. And so it's going to expose some gaps in the skills, right? So some people are really good at talking to people, but not so good at following up. And then you can direct them, if you see that that's the case, back into the leadership development section where they can learn about follow-up and answering objections or whatever that is. So can you guys see this, how this is going to be like a self-coaching tool so that you're not getting all these calls every single day? They're basically saying to you, wow, I've been working so hard, but nobody's signing up.
And the other thing that you can see there is not just about recruiting, it's also about duplication. There's certain activities that if you want to grow a big team, right, you need to find a way to duplicate yourself, to clone yourself. You need to, and for that, you obviously need some activities, but not just yourself. Then you're going to need activities from your team members. So that way you get that leverage and you get that depth in your business, right? Depth means leverage. That means residual income for you. That means lifestyle, right?
That's right. And then the second part of planning is, of course, tracking, because we all want accountability. And so every day you and your team members are going to come in here and fill in what the activity was. And as you can see, this bar will progress. And so if you want to know what you did yesterday or, the rest of the month, you can simply click on the statistics and go and fill in the rest of the month. Maybe 2 days ago, I forgot to fill out the numbers. So I can actually go in here and talk to 20 people and so on. But this is going to, for you leaders, going to do two things. Number one, you're going to save so much time and become so much more effective in when you are coaching your teams. So instead of this being 1 hour, 2 hour long conversations and teaching them all the skills that you need, you're going to look at their tracker together with them on a Zoom call or even in person, right, on their phone. And you're going to say, I can see that what you are needing some help with is this skill. So I want you to go back to your get results section and learn about this, right? So imagine you being able to save all this time. This is going to be, such an amazing tool for you to save time.
And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with listening to people, but what happens is really the reason people get involved in Isagenix, I believe, right, is because they want to change their life. If they want to change their life, you need to show them a way to have more results, right? And then after you have showed them the way and they're having those results, then you can spend as much time as you need about, talking about family, about the weather, about the dog, about anything you want. But the last thing you want, I believe, is somebody coming to you and saying, I've been doing all this work, nothing is happening in my business, I don't know what else to do. They sit down with you. You drive, first of all, to meet with them, and they drive to meet with you. You sit probably in a coffee place. You spend 2 hours, and in those 2 hours, you talk about the dog, you talk about the bills, you talk about everything. And then you leave that meeting saying, did I help that person to move forward in their business? I still don't know what is wrong, right? So here you have a tool that can help you to be more effective. And the main thing is it helps you to actually get that person on track as fast as possible. Is that making sense?
So how many of you now see that it's pretty, somebody says, pretty black and white, accountability, nowhere to hide.
That's right.
And absolutely. So how many of you can now see that this is going to be some great leverage for you? Is this going to be some super cool leverage so you guys can really move forward and scale your income? Yeah.
They put their legs up and everything.
I know. Darren says amazing. So let's have a look at how you can get started straight away. I think I need to share my screen back again. That will also be helpful. Very cool. Okay, so here's what you can do starting today. And today really, really is a very special day. So I'm going to find the right slide to go back right here. So, inside the system, as you guys know, you will get both the business product marketing funnel, right? And Miguel and I, have really studied online marketing for the past 6 years as well, and have studied online marketing in terms of conversions and so on. But we also have the experience in network marketing, knowing it's not about automation. It's about how we couple that with great relationships. And so, that funnel is really designed for the best interest in network marketing. And it's about also having a contacts management system where you can, have as many contacts as you want. In fact, we've seen softwares that we've used in the past that used to make us pay, and our members that were using it, more and more money as they were having more and more contacts, and that wasn't very nice.
Or like we had others that they were focusing mainly on the marketing side of it, and it wasn't even the marketing. I think the main thing is always, what is the goal, right? What is the end? What do I want to achieve with this action that I'm doing, right? And with the marketing part of it, it was just clicking a button, which is super simple, right? To send an email to someone or to send a message to someone with a video. But the challenge was that video, first of all, didn't have any call to action, didn't have any buttons to go to, let's say, I have more questions or nothing else, right? So then you were wondering, well, have they had a look to the video? Do they have questions? Did they like what they see? So there was no way to get some feedback, before you actually call that person. And those are the things that we were kind of trying to get done. So we would make it easier, not for maybe for you guys, you know how to follow up, you know how to do all this, but always the thought was, how can I help this brand new person that has no idea about doing this business? How can I help them to get results as fast as possible?
That's right. In addition, from your marketing funnel, of course, you're going to have all the other components that you saw, you know, the leadership development, all the tools, scripts, templates, you know, of course, the team area, the planning and tracking tools. So all of these things are included, you know, and Miguel and I certainly believe that the yearly value is really, you know, way above $6,000. In fact, some of these components we do sell separately on our websites, and they're, you know, way more than that. So if you add them up. So what we wanted to do for this very special period, Miguel, by the way, Matt and Karina were really good at twisting our arms, and for a while they're like, you know, really, we just want everyone to have this available in our team, and if they can, you know, take it up, that's great. If they will not, that's great too. But they actually invested, you guys may know, quite a substantial amount of money for us to help them customize this. So they were very successful in the end of really asking us, you know, please create the best price possible. And so for this special launch period for the next 2 weeks or so, I guess 13 days or so, we're going to have a very special launch offer, even though there's, you know, over $6,000 worth of value. In fact, this is now available. If you go on your phone, you can actually buy on your phone right now. Look at the lifestyletransformation.com/checkout, and you can follow what I'm going to tell you in the next few minutes. There's a few bonuses you will get. And really, you know, what this is all about is you being able to start today. As you start in the next few minutes, you'll be able to log into the system and share your link, you know, whatever name you choose. It could be the superstar.thelifestyletransformation.com, whatever it is that you prefer. And the price is either $347 yearly or $37 monthly. We very much understand, as much as we have an international business, you have an international business, and that's why we operate in a currency that we feel most people understand, even though I know quite a few of you are here in Australia, and some of them are actually maybe watching from the UK right now as well.
Or in Bali.
Or in Bali, that's right. So, you know, what we're going to do, if you start on a yearly price, you know, today or before the 1st of June, first of all, you're going to get the $50 discount, because on the 1st of June, the yearly price for Ever After will be $397. And, you know, this price will never come back. You know, we might have some promotions, but we will never come down to $347 yearly, and that's available now for 2 weeks. The other thing that we want to do with people who take us up on this yearly offer is that you are going to get this price for life. So if you renew in 12 months from today, you will also be only charged $347. So you're going to get this $50 discount for life, which is basically less than $1 per day. I don't think, you know, that's a substantial investment into your business. Of course, if you're looking at, you know, creating a serious business and wanting to really transform, is the key word, I think, today, transform your lifestyle. So yeah, so $347, go to thelifestyletransformation.com/checkout. And then we thought about what else would these amazing leaders need, you know, to be able to really make a difference to their teams and in their businesses. So we want to add 2 extra bonuses for people who take us up on the yearly offer. And people who want to do that, it's, you know, $347 yearly, and you will get these 2 bonuses. The first one is called the Fast Track to 6-Figure Online MLM. How many of you want to know more about how to create better posts on Facebook, Instagram, and social media? Is that you? Or you perhaps want to know how to create more effective marketing for your network marketing business with some online methods. This is exactly, you know, the program. And this is a program that we did with one of our mentors who is a way over 8-figure earner. He's earned over $30 million, both in network marketing and online marketing. And, you know, we feel this is really contributing to your skills as an online marketer and using some of those skills in your network marketing business. But also, you know, the recruiting mastery. Recruiting mastery really gives you, I think it's, I'm trying to count, I think it's a 7-module course, and it goes through all the recruiting. So, you know, especially for those of you who want to know how to have an endless list of prospects and never run out, we go through all those steps, you know, how to actually get endless referrals, many other things. So you can really master that recruiting part and really never run short out of prospects, right?
That's right. So the main thing for us is, you know, is how can we help you further? How can we contribute to your life and to your success, right? And at the end of the day, you know, we do sell these programs obviously on our website, but we want to kind of bribe you, right? Because we know at the end of the day that the money is in the long term. It's in the long-term commitment of yourself, and it's in the long-term commitment from your new members, your new Isagenix members, right? And the longer that somebody stays in the business, the more chances they have to actually do something with their life, right? And to actually get results, right? So we, you know, the goal for tonight, apart from giving you all the content that we've given you, all the content that we've given you, is to kind of see if there is a way to bribe you, right? To get a commitment, right, from you for 12 months, so you can actually use the system to your advantage, you know, so you can actually see the results. Because sometimes, you know, in life we make decisions where we are committed, but, you know, if in the first week doesn't work, I'm gonna move on to do something else, which is okay. And if that is okay, that's perfect. We do have a 30-day money back, full refund, money back guaranteed, right? If after, you know, 29 days and 23 hours and 59 seconds, you decide this is
not for you,
you just don't like it at all, then you can say, hey, I want my money back. We will give you the money back, no problem. We do believe 200% on this, and that's the reason we are so passionate about it. Is why we're so passionate about, you know, creating this tool for leaders like Matt and Karina that want to help you to actually have success. And that's why we say, you know what, use it. If you don't like it in 30 days, you can ask for the money back, no problem.
That's right. We also know that right now, the success of all of you will be totally increased when you as a leadership group really come together and have this common energy of a commitment of the common culture. And so I really believe, you know, as much as you guys are able to move forward together with this new culture, with this new system, being on the same page of what exactly are the processes, the tools, exactly the steps that you can do, you will all be more efficient. And, you know, you will be even more efficient as you meet up in events and talk the same language of how you're working. And that is why we really want you to take us up on this 347 yearly offer, because I feel this is a commitment that will take your team into a totally different level. And so, you know, that's why we really want to get you all these bonuses, you know, that we have just shown you here, and all this value really when you get started today. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, the link that you go to right now is just the lifestyletransformation.com/checkout. And we do want to reward you if you take action fast, because in life, it's all about 80% of life is turning up, right, Miguel?
Yep.
And so guess what? The first 20 people who actually take us up on this offer, I want to go to the last slide. We're actually going to be doing a very special training for the first 20 who become yearly members. And Miguel and I would like to spend a bit of time with you and really give you some insight that we've had into now using a system. It's not about just building it, right? You guys have now got it. It's about how do we use it effectively so that we can see fast results in our teams.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you can have, you know, the best Ferrari in the world, the best car, the fastest car. If you never use it, it ain't gonna happen, right? You're not gonna go fast at all. So for us, it's about showing you exactly how you can turn on the engine, you know, and how you can drive it and how you can actually achieve that speed that you want in your business. And again, there is a little bit from our point of view, and again, I might be wrong, you know, in my humble opinion, we see a lot of these things in Facebook nowadays with people that are saying, all network marketing is dead, you know, it's all about recruiting 200 people in 1 month and all these things that they are a little bit misleading, you know. We don't, and I'm not going to claim that this system is going to do everything for you, because it's not. The marketing pages that we have, you're going to still have to do the work. You're going to have to put and give the link to someone. You can try. We've seen a lot of people trying and sending the link to people, sharing the link, you know, in Facebook and all that, and then being at home visualizing how someone gets into that link and they go through the funnel and eventually they want to be the biggest leader in the world, right?
But I know
I
know this is not you guys. So if there's any questions whatsoever, I see that we have lots of people dialing in, and I know there's actually groups of people, and I can see Darren says, I'm in. And Josh says, done. I got it. So I know that you guys are already entering the system and using it, which is fantastic. But we really want to take a little bit of time, probably to answer some questions if you guys have it. And also, I think maybe Matt and Karina, I don't know if you or somebody else, would they like, to maybe share, since you've had the system for a few days, maybe a week, have you actually shared it with some prospects and got some feedback, or maybe something happened that you wanted to share? While they're coming, there's a question says from Andrew, if you're a couple, do you get your own one or use one together? I think it is safe to say that if you are able to share the same contacts management system and you live in the same house, you're probably going to be okay together, right?
It's up, yeah, exactly.
It's
up to you. I don't like doing anything with this lady here. I don't know who she is, but it kind of happened that she was just right here tonight. I don't know. And it happened for 13 years in a row, so I don't know what's going on. And for how much longer it's going to happen. So, But usually, if you're a couple, I think, it helps to do things in couples if you can, because, you can feed off each other's energy and you can help each other, and you can actually get more accomplished, I think that's just my belief.
I think Matt is
patiently waiting. Matt is waiting there.
Hey guys. Look, I think I've only sort of really had access to it for a few days, but what I've found is that I've never had a way to track my prospects first and foremost. So it's great to be able to, I know when I give someone the link and then I can see where they're up to, and then have a way to go back and follow them up. And even that so far has been golden. And then Karina and I have been working ourselves through the training and the leadership development and all those sorts of things. So, it's so great to have access to all of that stuff. And
can I share a story as well?
Karina's story.
You're a couple.
Do you have your own system?
Yeah, I do. We're having separate systems just because, we each have our own prospects. But yesterday, and I haven't actually sent my link to anyone yet, but yesterday I was buying some new makeup and I was just talking to the girl who was doing my makeup, and we were talking about Isagenix, and she wanted details for her and for her mum. And it was so nice to be able to, I friend requested her on Facebook, but to know that I can send her a link that she can pass on to her mum, and rather than her mum will just be lost in translation, will probably never get in contact with me. If she sends that link to her mum can log in, and then I have her in my system and I can get to know her. Whereas if we didn't have this, it literally would have been, here's my card or here's my link, send it on to your mum, but never having that
way to follow up.
And it gave me so much confidence, because I called Matt straight after and I said, I've got my first 2 people to send my link to. And it was just so exciting because, like Matt said, in terms of follow-up, we've always had a whiteboard, which is fairly old school. It's worked. I mean, we got to $1 million with it, but there are so many people in my business who have fallen through the cracks. So many. Oh,
that's amazing. And imagine if the mother of the makeup artist actually, let's say the makeup artist just wants, to lose some weight and feel great, which is awesome. But imagine she passes it on to the mother, and the mother's like, this is it. I'm going to transform my lifestyle, right? So this is what I feel a lot of us are often missing in network marketing. We're missing all these levels of people that never get to hear the right message. And that's what you've just done there now.
That's my story.
Yeah, so it's exciting. We're excited to use it and can't wait for our team to have access to it as well. So
awesome.
That's great. And everyone's saying, I'm just joined, I'm paid for the year. That is awesome. Thank you, Karina. Awesome story. And yeah, awesome. Really, we're going to stay online for as long as you guys need us. But really what we feel it's all about right now is, start using it as you buy it. Start using it. There's plenty of information right there on the dashboard. You go through I think it's a 15-minute video, right, yeah. Miguel? That is a training, 17-minute video that you...
Very different.
Somebody is very detail-oriented. Somebody is not. And, you will be able to understand exactly how to use it. But like we said, we will do a training, especially for the first 20, we'll do a very special training. And then later, definitely for everyone who has joined. And, our intention, just so you know where we come from and why we do this, our intention is not to sell you a system and never see you again. In fact, our, really hidden motivation is to help you duplicate your team and have your best interest in heart, so that as you are getting bigger teams, we have more users on the lifestyle transformation. And so in a way, there's a win-win situation, really partnering with you all as leaders, as teams, and helping achieve what I feel,
That's right.
is really your dream as well.
That's our real selfish reason. We want more members, and we said, how can we get more members? Let's just get them more results. And as you can see in the funnel, in the actual contact management system, you have to become a member of Isagenix before you actually purchase the membership. Otherwise, there's no point, right? So the more volume you have, the more members you have in your Isagenix business, the more business builders you have. Because what is always the $1 million question, right? How can I get more people like me? How can I get more leaders? How can I get more business-minded people? And everything starts with what Masha said. How am I exposing the opportunity to people? And how, not just me, because I might be very business-oriented, but maybe I sponsor Masha, and Masha starts using the product. But guess what Masha is going to do tomorrow when somebody says, I would like to have access to some detox or some cleansing products or some weight loss or whatever. Masha is going to say, I have great products for you. Instead of saying, have a look to this video, and this video shows everything, right? And then that person can choose what is the right thing for them. So that way you know that if there is a business builder, if there is a leader in the future, in your business, they select themselves. They don't get, kind of thrown away because they just get exposed to the product. Is that making sense, guys?
Right?
Sure, yeah.
Karina and Matt, is there something that perhaps Miguel and I forgot to mention? Is there something that you would like us to expand on, or any questions that you wanted us to answer? I think we lost your voice.
You're mute.
Let me see if I can unmute you, Karina. I can unmute you here.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Guys. So I just remember yesterday when we were talking to you privately, and you kind of gave us an idea of how long it takes for, once the team starts using this, no matter how small or big your team is, how long it takes for it actually to start taking effect. Because we're all in the network marketing business, so we know it's not an overnight success. But once you start implementing the system into your business, what sort of results can you see within the next, 90 days or so?
Right, that's a really great question. We had one of the other system owners actually send us a message about 2 hours before we came onto the webinar, and he was saying they launched the system about 3.5 weeks ago, I believe, so not that long ago. And he said that he this week is seeing at least twice as much activity using the system. I mean, they've always had people doing stuff in the team, and even though their team had plateaued a little bit, they were looking for a way for more duplication deep inside their team. This particular leader had 3 levels of duplication really strong, but then depth, was missing. And so he says, he just Vox says, there's an application go. I said, oh my God, it's so exciting. This week, I'm seeing at least double amount of people coming into the business. And what is really exciting, all the team is starting to do 3-way calls and meetings, and exactly how we now go through the system. So I think, within the first month, you might see glimpses of people really starting to take on it. But for your income, not just Matt and Karina's, but for your income to really, start to take off and go to a new level, I do feel it takes 90 days. Because you as leaders, you guys are quick, right? You already got the skills, so it's only about the mechanics that you're going to learn, and you're going to be right on it. But remember, every new person that comes on board, they've maybe not been in network marketing, and so it takes some time for them to gather some skills. And so we feel it's at least 90 days before this machine really gets into a momentum. So be really patient, as you guys start using this, and as you start working with your teams with it. Obviously, some people will, come in the launch period and be right on board, and some people may watch from the sideline for a week or two and may be on board later. So it's about uniting, not alienating anyone. We don't want to be, saying, I'm not going to work with you because you didn't do this. No, not at all. You're going to still work with people, but you're going to be welcoming and warm. And eventually, as people see what you're doing and how simple and how you're saving time, this is really going to compound.
Because the main challenge that you're going to find, that you have found already, pretty sure, is when you expose the prospect to the opportunity, is like, who doesn't want to make more money, right? Who doesn't want to improve their lifestyle? Who doesn't want to have more health, right? But the question is always in their mind, I'm not a successful person. I'm not a salesperson, right? Some people think like that. I don't know if I can do this, right? What we have seen, and this is just like an insight from other systems, especially from the one that Masha was mentioning, they're having 100%, listen to this very carefully, they are having 100% closing, quote unquote closing. I don't believe in closing, but they are getting 100% of the prospects. In the last 2 weeks, 100% of the prospects signed up, because when they do the 3-way call, one of the things they include in every single 3-way call is the system. And they say, how simple, Masha, it would be for you if you really like the product, if you really like the idea of the opportunity, what it can do for you, how do you like how simple it was for you to actually be exposed to this? This is the system we have. And the only thing you need to do is to tell somebody to have a look to this video, like somebody did to you, right?
Right.
And the only thing they need to do is to click play. Do you think you can tell people to click play and then collect a decision?
Right.
They've had, in the last 2 weeks, they have signed up every single person. So
it's about a sorting process that becomes a lot more simpler, right?
Yeah.
That's why it is happening. There's a question, and Josh is saying, wow, but there's a question from the audience. Is there a way to know what video people watch? And I'm sure it's about the product page. You're probably referring to the product page, right? Not sure who the question is from. I think Karina had typed it, but it is, so the important thing is that they watch the presentation. There is no way of knowing which video they actually watched on the product page. But why this is even here is not for you to sit back in front of your computer and have all the information delivered to you and then press start and they're going to magically sign up, right? The reason you have a marketing funnel, the reason the information is there for you is for you, when you follow up, actually have a conversation starter, and it's a pre-sorting tool. This is not a tool that's going to sign someone up, right? We collect decisions as leaders by actually giving information and asking questions. And so, no, there's no way of knowing which video they have seen on the product page. And that's a great question to start the phone call, the follow-up phone call with, which we believe the best way you should do that is in a 3-way call. So inside the leadership development platform, there's a whole script for 3-way calls. If you've never done it, there's lots of tools so that you can actually start doing them.
And if you are very young, we are old school. If you're a millennial, right, you may believe that maybe events don't work anymore, or 3-ways are something from the past. But I kind of challenge you, just to try it for a month and see how it works. Because, I think at the end of the day, it's not about you doing the work, it's about the person that is watching what you're doing to think, he's doing nothing. He's only pointing to people, he's only pointing to tools. What has he really done, right? If he can do that, I can do that too. Right. He's making money, I can make money too, right? And that's what you want them to think, instead of saying, wow, he had to send me a text for this and then a text for that, and then we had to jump on the phone and do all this and do all that, and it becomes very complicated, right? So that is the thing that you want all the time. You want them to think it's super simple to do.
Right. So how many of you are now excited because you know that as you wake up tomorrow, your business will be so streamlined? How many of you are excited? You excited? Look at them.
They're asleep already.
I think it's getting a little late in Australia, but the hands went up and the virtual hands went up too. So these guys are really well trained. So I'm just checking. I don't think there's any more questions right now, but obviously I know there's a group that Matt and Karina have created in Facebook. And there's a question that we'll answer now, but there's a group in Facebook, and I think Miguel and I will be a part of it. So if you have network marketing questions, ask us in the Facebook group. You'll have access to us and just tag us there. If you have access about some technical thing in the system, how to press a button or what's not working, then email support@The Lifestyle Transformation. Our average support time is 3.4 hours, and 45% of tickets are answered in 1 hour. So I don't know how they do it, but they're really amazing.
And Josh has a great question.
Is there a video to show people what this website, The Lifestyle Transformation, can do for them instead of me trying to explain? Yes, and I will actually show you where it is. So how many of you saw the 2 training videos about duplication in the last 2 or 3 days? How many of you saw those 2 short videos? You guys saw that? So the third video, and I'm going to share my screen and show you guys. The third video is actually the one that is a sales video. So you guys can share that, and it's going to stay online. So if I can just remember what that link is, I think it is the lifestyle transformation. The lifestyle transformation. I'm going down on my things. Maybe you can just opt in. Yes, Miguel's going to check for me in a second. It's actually here on my phone, and I have just messaged this to Matt and Karina not long ago, so I know that I can find it in the messages right here. 1 second. So, Josh, that's a really good question. So you should have that. The link to that is, so just this one here. Just this one here. And so what happened for everyone who has actually gone through those training videos that we had live for a couple of days, you know, we have actually at the same time as going on to this webinar, I've just copied it onto my Skype, and I'm going to be copying it right now. Here we go, almost there. Here we go. So there's a third video, Josh, and the third video starts with Matt and Karina actually welcoming everyone and sharing the testimony. And guess what? It talks about the lifestyle transformation solution. It's a 16-minute video, so it's a great video if somebody's not convinced in your team by simply saying you must do this, right? Which is not a great way. And then, of course, there's a Join Now button. And this Join Now button goes to the link that we just gave you, which is the lifestyle transformation /checkout, so people can join straight away. So, Josh, hopefully that helps you. And those links should be in the Facebook group where we're in, and we can definitely give you all that again.
And one of the things that you guys will find in the next probably week or so is that video probably will appear also on that checkout page. So you can, the only thing you need to do is, as you go through the first 10 steps on your checklist when somebody gets started, the only thing you do is you go to thelifestyletransformation.com, and then you click on Join Now, and then you will have the video. They can watch the video.
Correct.
And make their own decision. And again, you know, we don't want to make people feel bad about their decision. We want to reinforce whatever decision they make. If they choose not to, it's perfectly fine. And it's just, it makes it really harder for them to actually share the opportunity, right? So, you know, if they understand and they really want to make money, then, you know, you're buying into, and this is, again, if you guys don't mind that I share this, the way we approach this business is like any franchise, right? And the reason people queue to have a McDonald's unhealthy franchise, and they pay $2 million and they wait, or $1.5 million, I think it is, and they wait for 2 years to actually pay that money, and then they don't get the money back within the first 3 years, right? They break even, if they're lucky, in the first 3 years, because McDonald's, apart from being really, really good in real estate, right, for the franchisee, they are good at giving them a system that they can follow. They know that they train the 16-year-old that they need to flip the burger every 30 seconds, or every 30 seconds, the whatever burger they have, they need to come out already ready to go, right? And it's a system that people follow. This is exactly the same. People need to follow a system, and what you're giving them is a very simple step-by-step way for them to actually do A, then do number 2, then 3, then 4, 5, and then at the end of that, they can have the results, or throughout that, they can have results.
Right. And if you forget all of the links that we said, simply just remember the lifestyletransformation.com, and underneath here is an orange button. If you don't have a login yet, then you can just ask your team member to click here, and they can join right from here as well. But we'll make sure that that video is also available to you guys, and you're sharing that as well. So hopefully that helps as well. Yeah. So I don't see any, I'm just checking here in the questions. I feel like we have answered everything so far, but do stay in touch with us. I mean, is there anything at all, at least from the people who are, I just tried to join annually but wouldn't accept my credit cards? Okay, we do not accept American Express. If that's American Express. George says it's super exciting. We accept Visa, MasterCard, you know, all that is fine. All Australian Visa, MasterCards are fine.
Yeah, so what happens, sorry, yeah, I just thought of that. Well, no, I just looked at it. Anyway, what happens sometimes is that because we charge in US dollars, we're still in Australia, right?
Australian company
But
with NAB.
what happens is the banks usually they try to protect you against online fraud. Obviously, I promise you, we're not trying to fraud or do anything illegal. But the companies, some credit cards, they actually block that transaction straight away. So the only thing you guys need to do, if you have that issue with the credit card and you know that there is funds in it, call the company, right? Call the credit card company and say, hey, can you accept a charge from Pajama Bosses for this much in US dollars? And then they will say, yes, that's okay. We see it here, we blocked it. Now we can release the funds, you know, things like that. And that should be fine. If
you don't have a Visa or a MasterCard, you can write to support and we'll find another way for you. But any Visa or MasterCard is fine in Australia. Debit, it doesn't need to be a credit card. It can be a debit card as well. But Michelle, if you have challenges, just write to support to us and we will definitely take care of you. Back to Matt.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, when you do log on and you're on the system, there's a link that says join our Facebook group, and that's the Lifestyle Transformation Mastermind group that I've set up on Facebook so that we can all be in contact there. And if you've got questions, or you know you're having trouble with one thing, or you're having wins doing things a certain way or inviting a certain way, things like that, that we can use that as a forum for everyone to bounce ideas off, or you know have questions answered. And because a lot of us are in different teams or have our own places, then it's sometimes difficult for everyone to come together. So this is one that if you're going to use the system, then join that Facebook group, and then we can always mastermind about stuff like that as well. And yeah, I know I think Lisa asked something about bringing existing contacts over. You know, there's a way that you can then bring your databases together and keep it all in at once.
Yeah, if you guys have large CSV files, that you would like us to import, the support will do that for you. But if you just want to do small ones, you'll be able to do that one by one. And Georgie's asking, with existing prospects, do you suggest them to send the link to start a process to get them into the platform? So I think, the reason you're sharing your link is to educate them about Isagenix products and the business. And when they have made that decision, then you can also share with them, say, did you see how simple it was for me to share it with you? And so here is the other part, which is really important for you to be able to do this, business if you want to earn some income. And that's a really great seamless way to introduce how important the platform, the system will be for their business. So I think it's a great question, Georgie. Yeah. You're welcome. Great.
Well, yeah, I mean, on behalf of Karina and I, we just wanted to thank Masha and Miguel, you guys, for all the time and effort and putting this together. And we're super excited and can't wait to work with you. And I'm sure the team feel the same.
Absolutely. We're super excited. We really want you to understand we want to be around for a long time with you. And, we've built network marketing for a few years. We understand it's not overnight sometimes. But we want you to understand you have another support structure here to empower you to be able to do more. And if we can be a resource, a silent resource when you need us, that's what we're here. And all we want to see is you succeed more and create, pass it on to more people. So thank you for this amazing opportunity to work with your team and worldwide, to be able to create more success stories that can change more lives. So
that's right.
Thanks to Matt and Karina and to everyone here as well.
It hasn't been, we know that it has not been an easy decision for you guys to do everything that you're doing and, the financial investment, everything you've done. And, but I know that your team is going to appreciate, how much thought you put in all this. And moving forward, I think, it's always about what's going to happen in 12 months from today or 24 months from today. And obviously there's going to be people that say, I'm glad I did, and people that will say, I wish I had. So
that's right. And you guys are the founders. So we can always look back to the 18th of May, 2017 and celebrate. So wherever you're listening from, go and celebrate now. And it was wonderful to see you all in person, at least through the screen. So thanks for now, and see you all very soon.
The feet too.
Good night.